This is Abadiania.
Every year, many thousands of people flock here, to this room, within what is known as the Casa, to see one man called John of God. They arrive here in the hope of being cured of a variety of physical and spiritual afflictions, to which Joao, as he is known by the locals, takes no personal credit for healing. This is the beautiful and tranquil garden to the rear of the casa, and that statue you just saw is Saint Ignatius, who is the patron saint of the casa. And this is the meditation area, and there is one of the dogs that hangs around the casa, which is what this video is really about. We will talk. This is one of the local stray dogs. You can tell he's a stray because he is without a collar. Unlike this dog, who is well kept and obviously well fed and has a home to return to, strays have a much harder life than this sleeping beauty right here. While walking down the street in front of the casa grounds on the following day after my arrival, I observed stray dogs roaming around everywhere. The deplorable physical condition of these strays did not escape my attention, and being in a foreign country, all I could do at this point was feel sorry for them, inquire about them, and feed them what I could. As you can see from this farm animal, which will either eventually end up on someone's dinner plate or is of some human use, he is very well taken care of and very well kept. As I roamed around and familiarized myself with my surroundings, I had no idea that one very pregnant female dog I observed on that first day would touch my life personally and inspire me to make all of the strays' plight known. This footage was filmed after the fact, as was most of the hardships of the pregnant dog. This is the front of the San Rafael Hotel where Mila and I were staying. We originally had rooms next to each other on the bottom floor to the rear of the hotel, but one day prior to Mila finding the mommy dog, I had been moved to the third floor due to construction. Mila was the only patron remaining in this row of rooms because she was leaving in 2 days, and it was a good thing she was still there. So this was the view every morning from my former hotel room. It was peaceful, with the only sounds being the birds chirping until the daily construction resumed. When Mila exited her room yesterday, she heard tiny little squeaking noises around the corner. When she investigated, she found an exhausted female dog and 6 tiny puppies under a tree behind this grounded, turned-over awning. Here is our exhausted mommy. Her 6 puppies are in a small hole dug out by her following a torrential downpour, which I'll tell you about in a moment. She originally gave birth to the left of this tree. She gave birth all by herself in the middle of the night. She cleaned the entire area right there. She cleaned the entire area and cleaned all 6 of her puppies were spotless. When Mila found her, she was too weak to even lift her head. She was so exhausted. That's when Mila came to me for help, and together we gave her water and food and we had to put the water bowl underneath her so she could just lift barely enough to drink the water out of the bowl. And then came the torrential downpour that following night. This was filmed following the mommy and puppy's rescue by a local veterinarian. He is a saint of a man who you'll meet in a little bit. Mila went home yesterday after an exhausting day prior to that. The plastic, which is now on the ground, was our attempt to keep as much rain as possible away from the mommy and pups. It rained twice since we put up the boards and plastic. Prior to this shelter from the rain, there was a torrential downpour during the nighttime in which the puppies almost drowned. This brave and exhausted mommy lined her puppies up and attempted to seek shelter for them. The experience was so traumatizing that the mommy never moved from this small area in the corner to the original area where she gave birth, which is much roomier. Even after the plastic was up, the original area remained drier, but she chose to remain in the corner because any water that may have trickled down the wall, she used her body to soak up, to keep off of her puppies, and to keep her puppies safe in that small hole that she dug for them, so that it was easier for them to feed off of her, or rather be breastfed by her. In case you haven't already formed your own opinion, this is an extremely smart dog. That tree is very hard, sharp, and pointy. The leaves are like spears touching the skin, and it's not easy to reach underneath either. This was a safe spot for the puppies, but it was a challenge to reach them in an emergency. Let me show you how she attempted to save her puppies from the rain before Mila and I stepped in to assist. This, of course, is the outside view of the awning behind which she lined all 6 puppies up. The original corner she was in had filled up with water, and they were all drenched and covered in mud. I believe that she originally did not go this way because of the fact of the whole cold hard tiles and the fact that there's no exit out that way. The other way for her to exit in case of emergency was safer, and so she took one of the puppies in her mouth, traveled through this area in the torrential downpour. She went up these stairs and put the puppy on the couch inside of these open doors, the couch right there, and a hotel worker saw what was going on, took the puppy, put it on that mat right below the doorway, and shut the doors. In the meantime, Mila, knowing what was going on, had run upstairs to get my help. While I was getting dressed and grabbing towels, I came back downstairs and saw Mila holding the puppy that was on the mat, and she was visibly shaken. By the time we got over to the awning, the downpour had stopped, and the mommy had dug a hole in the little corner where she had 3 of the 6 puppies. We then took the 3 remaining puppies, dried the mud off of them, dried them as best we could, and gave them back to the mommy. And in that corner is where she stayed until she was rescued by the man you are about to meet.